fastest show in sports.
If you make a deal with the devil, that road to hell is an express lane. And right now in Boulder, Colorado, the University of Colorado has made their deal with the devil. They are paying for it, and they are on the off-ramp right now because they are heading to hell in an absolute disaster that they made. And part of it is what's happening in college football right now because they must have felt that they were forced to do all this, to be better, to go out and get good players, to find a coach, to become something special. Because for so many years at the University of Colorado, they were a program that never got any respect. Sure, every now and then Colorado might show up and something good might happen, but they wanted to be part of what's happening right now in college football. They wanted to be involved in the playoff system, the possibility to win a championship, the chance to go out and get great players, perhaps even a great coach, and make themselves a program to be feared. Right now, they are not feared in any sense of the imagination, and they have made their bed and they have to lie in it. And it started with greed. The University of Colorado found itself so desperate to do something, to do anything, to be part of what's happening in college football right now, they struck that deal with the devil. And that deal with the devil started with Deion Sanders. And now they have reached a point where the athletic program at Colorado is a disaster, is absolutely a frightening financial disaster that they themselves made. And it's going to happen to other college football programs across the country. Look, Colorado is a major program. This is not just some second, third, fourth-rate program. This is a big-time college athletic program in a big-time city. But they screwed up. They got suckered. They let themselves believe in their own press clippings, and now they've got to pay the price. And that price is tens of millions of dollars that they don't have, that they need to keep the athletic program afloat. And now they're going to have to go looking for the money. It's a disaster of unqualified proportions. Heads need to roll. Absolutely, people need to be fired. Look, they've already got people leaving. High up the chain, it's time to get rid of more. Because these are the people who decided that, yep, let's bring in Deion Sanders. And Deion Sanders has destroyed what was the University of Colorado football program, whatever it was. It might have just been maybe on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe a 6, maybe a 7. He's destroyed that. He's put them down in the 2s and the 3s right now. Colorado is a laughing stock because the people at Colorado, the people in charge, allowed it to become so. And right now they've got to figure a way out. The problem is the rest of college football is going to be looking at what's happening in Colorado. And they're going to find out what happens when you screw up. When you basically decide you're a little bit too big for your britches. When you decide that you're going to go ahead and get involved with the big boys and you don't have the big boy money. And you don't have the big boy intelligence. And you don't have the big boy management. And now you're stuck. Do they survive? Of course they do. This is big-time college athletics. It's not like Colorado is just going to up and go away or they're going to get rid of sports. It's not going to happen. There's always money around. These guys are awash in cash. But what's happening right now at Colorado is a disaster of their own making. And now they've got to figure a way out. That's not going to be easy. The University of Colorado decided that we want to be big time. We want to be among those teams that get respect. It's like an old mafioso thing. Let's get some respect. And to do so, we're going to spend some money. So what did they do? They went out and they hired Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders had no experience whatsoever at that level. But Deion Sanders is a name. We can trade on that. We can market that. We can sell that. The boosters will get involved. And again, there's part of my issue. It's not just presidents of universities and athletic directors that are making decisions. Many times it is the boosters, it is the supporters, it is the sponsors. They're the multi-million-dollar backbones of college athletics. So when they decided they wanted to get big time, And all of a sudden, there's this churning about Deion Sanders. Look how good Deion Sanders has been where he is. Oh, he's a former NFL player, Hall of Famer. He's the guy we need right now. He's going to bring Colorado to respectability. Bullshit. You're not respectable anymore. And you did it. You brought Deion Sanders in. He has one good season. One. Count it. Sorry. One. Okay? Okay? And then he does it strictly because it's a plot by Deion. It's a plan. It's a con. He brings his two sons in because he wants to get his sons in the National Football League. He wants to present them. He wants to put them out in front of everybody. He wants to make sure that everybody knows that the Sanders boys are the answers to your prayers. So what does he do? He takes over an unsuspecting program that figures Deion's going to do right by us. Deion doesn't give a shit about Colorado. He never has. It's all about his players, his kids that are his players. And it's all about propping him up and making him attractive to maybe somebody in the National Football League one day. It's completely backfired. Look, one kid's out of football, another one basically is getting hammered while he's in it. They're not that good. They're good college football players, but they're not good NFL players. But Deion had a plan. He was going to use Colorado as the base to get them out there and push them. Make sure that everybody knew who they were. And they did. Shedeur got a tremendous amount of attention with what he did in college football. And then he goes into the pros. He's a jerk. And all he does is basically take the entitlement that being Deion Sanders' kid has given him, and he sticks that in everybody's face. Guess what? It's not working. But I get ahead of myself. This was Deion's plan, and Colorado fell for it. Not only did they fall for it, but then earlier this year, they gave him a raise. They cranked him up to $10 million a year. What in the name of sweet buffalo excremental chips has Deion Sanders done to deserve $10 million? Absolutely nothing. Zero. Oh, wait. There are those who are going to say, wait a minute, Ed, he actually did do something. Because he came in and created a good season, and the sponsorship went up. The fans showed up. Ticket sales are up. The networks were interested. Everybody's talking about the University of Colorado, so don't tell me he didn't do anything, Ed. Obviously, he did something. He made money for the University of Colorado, and at the end of the day, that's all it's about. Yeah, but what price did that come at? Because this season was a disaster for Colorado, and as a matter of fact, here we sit at the end of 2025. The recruiting class that Deion Sanders has brought in is the worst in conference. It's at the bottom. It's awful. You know why? Nobody wants to play for Deion. Everybody figured that these kids are going to want to play for a living legend. Nonsense. They want to play for a place that's going to push them up in the NFL, that's going to make them NIL money, that's going to make them a good dollar. And yeah, the players are still going to get paid, but they don't see Colorado as that anymore. Colorado is a dead end. And the people at Colorado are the ones who made it so. They give Deion this massive improvement, this raise. And then comes the news. Colorado is operating for the end of the fiscal year, 2026, a $27 million deficit. They're losing money. With all this and all about Deion coming in, they're losing money. Matter of fact, they're losing it to the tune of $27 million. Colorado needs almost $12 million in support from the university in order to keep their athletic program afloat. We're also talking about dipping into student fees. So in other words, what people are paying to go to school at the University of Colorado is now going to be used to supplement the football program. Because they screwed up so badly, they need $12 million. They get at least a little over $2 million from the students now, from student fees to keep alive. Because they basically got absolute idiots running that athletic program. So now they're stuck. They're going to now get this. Colorado is going to have to rely on donations, sponsorship, and concert fees at Folsom Field. In other words, they're scrambling. They're desperate. They got to get the money from someplace because we spent it all. Matter of fact, we overspent. We're like a bunch of drunken sailors on a 3-day shore leave. And all of a sudden, we're going to go out and spend every single thing. Let's get the booze, let's get the hookers, let's get everything else and bring them on in here. That's almost the thinking process at Colorado. They blew it up, and now they've got to pay for it. They could need $41 million in order to make them completely solvent again. Now, the people of Colorado are going to tell you, hey, don't believe Berliner. It's fine. It's no worries. We got lots of money. Yeah, you do got lots of money. But guess what? You need almost $40 million in order to stay alive because you screwed up. You brought Deion in. You destroyed the program. You made the program something that the kids even anymore, the players, don't want to come to. They don't want to go to it. They don't want to be there. And good for them because they see a loser when they've got one right in their midst. The players are going to get paid. That's another problem. You see, Colorado was so brilliant in all this, they lost track completely of what was happening with the NIL money, with transfer portals, with the money they'd have to pay to bring kids in. They got almost $21 million. $21 million paying players. Guess somebody missed that in accounting class. I don't even know if there is an accounting major at the university, but maybe they ought to look real tight in Boulder and see if they can find somebody who's smart enough to understand you blew it. The problem with Colorado is this is not isolated. This is going to happen across the board in college athletics because there is so much money that needs to be spent. There's so much money out there. The boosters especially. We got tons of money to give you. And they're going to keep using it. And they're going to spend it. And it's going to be at every single major university is doing it right now. But not every single major university can hack it. Not all of them have the wherewithal to be able to say, well, we can go 40 million, 20 million in the hole, whatever it is. We'll get it back. A lot of the schools will. Not Colorado. Because what happens now? All those sponsors and all those boosters and all those people who gave millions of dollars to Colorado to go out and sign Deion Sanders, they're going to say, you screwed this up. Look how badly you effed this up. You really want me to give you more money now? I mean, you wasted my money. You put it in the spot now that the student fees have got to help pay for the athletics. And you want more of my money? You want to come to me and beg for more? Get lost. I mean, I wouldn't blame it at all right now if many of the boosters, the supporters, and the people who shovel the millions of dollars at the university just went away and said, you screwed this up so badly, what do I want to get involved with you again for? You want more? No, you can't have it. Therefore, they're going to have to look to cut sports. Now, Colorado says there's no way we're going to cut sports. Where's the money going to come from? See, this is the endemic possibilities that are going to slowly, maybe not even slowly, but quickly destroy what we knew as college football. Every school has got to do it now. They all got to have this big money, and they all got to be involved in the accounting. But a lot of them, the Ohio States, the Michigans, the Miamis, the USCs, the Alabamas, Georgia, LSU, Florida State, they got unlimited cash. They've been doing this a long time. Out in Colorado, they haven't been running at this level for a long time. And now they're screwed. So it becomes an issue where Colorado has got to stop and they've got to make some serious decisions. The first thing Colorado has to do is fire Deion Sanders. You got to get him out. I don't know what your buyout is. I don't know what kind of contract you signed him to, but you screwed that up. You brought in the wrong guy. He is not the guy for the program. Look how bad this team was this year. And why were they bad? Because Deion came in, put his sons in there to make sure that his sons got notoriety in the NFL, and he had no backup plan. He had nothing else. He didn't even have good coaches. He brought in coaches that would basically take the rap for everything he did. He's not a head coach. He's not a leader. He's a He's a Bible thumper, if you will. He's one of these guys who basically just will get out in front and say, "Come with me, I will save you." No, he's not. He's not a good coach. He was only a fair coach to begin with when Colorado hired him. And now he screwed the program up. What are they going to do? They got nowhere to go. They have to fire Sanders. Look, it's going to lead to a disaster. Colorado is not going to be relevant again for a long period of time. But that's their fault. They did it. They brought Deion in. They decided that he was the answer. They decided that, well, if we're going to have to do something, well, let's bring in the big guy. He failed badly. So you're going to have to take your lumps and get to the point where we're not going to be good for a number of years. Again. And it's your fault. It's not Deion's fault. You brought him in. It's not his assistant coach's fault. You brought him in. He brought them in. You got to dump the guy. You got to go out and get a coach while everybody else is out there looking for the coaches that can lead them to the next level. Here's Colorado sitting right at the base of the Rocky Mountains in Boulder, and they're sitting on their hands right now. They're sitting on their ass, and they're trying to figure out how they can get out of this mess. The only way out of this mess is you got to break the chain. You got to bring in a coach who understands. You got to bring in somebody who understands recruiting, who knows how to talk to the players, who understands what the NIL money is, who understands the transfer portal, who understands how to bring in the best athletes, who understands how to at least bring in somebody good. Players don't want to play for Deion now. They see what a mess that program is. Instead of going to Colorado, who knows? Maybe they'll go to Colorado State. I don't know. But they'll go someplace else that actually has their shit together. Because in Colorado, you don't have it together, and Deion sure as hell doesn't have it together, so you're stuck. And until you wipe the slate clean, you are going to be stuck for a long time, and you're going to be in debt. Tremendous amounts of debt again. Where's the money going to come from? You don't know, because you screwed it up. I'm going to tell you this. I have an emotional part in all this. I worked in Colorado for 4 years. I worked in Denver. Hosted shows out there. I was one of the few media guys who went to the games at Folsom Field because I like college football. And I like the program. I was in awe when I walked into that field the first time. It's beautiful. I loved covering the team, being around the players, being around the coaches, even though the coaches were suspect at the time. But it was a great atmosphere. Colorado versus Colorado State and some of those great matchups, it was awesome. So a part of my heart is still out in Colorado. And I didn't go to Colorado, but I'm pissed. You took what was a really good program that could have been great if you hadn't hired Deion Sanders. And if you brought somebody in who understands college football, somebody who understands the players themselves. But instead, you got a mess. We're going to see this in college football and college athletics again. We're going to see this at other places because they're spending like idiots right now. They're spending the money, and sooner or later the boosters are all going to pull back, as I noted, and say, I'm not giving you any more money. I gave you $20 million before, and what did you do? You pissed it away. I'm going to give you $20 million more? Hey, look, wearing that helmet or wearing that logo and being in a skybox is not worth $40, $50 million. Watch what happens. College athletics is changing. It is changing at a speed that nobody expected and nobody was ready for. And now they've all got to figure out where they go from here. We are seeing it happen at Colorado. They are now the canary in the coal mine. Because what happens at Colorado is going to happen at a lot of other places. Maybe not this year. Maybe not next year. But soon. And until college football, the programs, the presidents, the athletic directors, until they get their shit together, college football has the potential to be a screaming disaster. But will the fans care? they get their playoff berth. We get a chance to contend. We're happy. Let's hope they're all going to be happy, because the nightmare is coming.
Ed Berliner, the fastest show in sports.